You're listening to a replay of the Ask Avani Show. This episode contains songs with explicit lyrics for your listening enjoyment, and they pertain to the topic of the show. No offense intended. It's the Ask Avani Show. You're listening to SoMetro Radio. Welcome. This is Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m. on the nose, over here live in the UK. I wanted you guys to join me. I am so glad you did. Today's show is a little something different. We got in the SoMetro Dallas studios, K Rose, show producer. Hi, K Rose.
Hello, Avani.
Hello. Now, I just wanted to, invite people to come through and talk to us, because today's show is called, Prison Visit versus New Comms Tech. Now, you guys probably thinking, what's she talking about? But the gist of the show, as you will see as we go through, will basically be the storyline of when you have maybe, especially because I know there's a lot of black men, and as you guys in America call it, isn't it, African-American men in jail at the moment. And I just wanted to touch on that because we have that over here in the UK as well, a lot of black guys in jail for various reasons and activities. But I realised that this rehabilitation thing ain't really working, because I'm finding that a lot of them are losing contact with their friends and family. So that's where the new comms tech idea comes in, because I'm realising that maybe if they had other ways to keep in contact with friends and family and loved ones, i.e. video messaging, then they might stand a better chance of, reintegrating back into society. So that's basically the gist of today's show. I'm hoping you guys will stay with us. We've got some music to play. We're going to chat, talk, debate. We're going to have some fun. And, it's going to be quite interesting. So we are going to take a short little break, aren't we, K-Rose? Because there's some powerful tracks that I want you guys to hear and listen to and just tune in to, so that you can get into the feel of the show. So we're going to take a little short break, and we will be right back.
Hey, bro, you want to buy the cell phone 500 minutes, bro? Come on, man, $5. How you can get it for $5?
I told you.
You always messing it up.
Well, give me my Metro card.
Locked up, they won't let me out. And I had a long day in court, stressed me out.
Baby, I'm hoping that you'll take me by the hand and you wipe my tears away.
This is the Ask Avani Show on SoMetro Radio. Welcome back. You just listening to Faith Evans' Tears Away. People, today's topic is prison visits versus new comms tech. Hi, K Rose. We are back.
We are definitely back.
We're definitely back. Now, I want to know, what do you think about today's show topic?
Well, like I said before, it's interesting because it just so happened last night I was watching TV with my wife. We were just sitting around. It was the end of the evening, and we're from a city in Oklahoma, and I'm not sure if the UK has heard this big uproar on a fraternity in Oklahoma that has had some issues with a one of the fraternity members. He was on a bus ride and he was chanting something that was racist, and he was kicked out of school and all this kind of stuff. All this happened.
Yeah, do you know what? This story is emerging over here for us. I don't know if anyone noticed it. I think I saw it on Sky News, actually. Right. Because, see, this is the thing, right? I seem to have a bee in my bonnet. People are going to be like, why is she talking about prison visits? But we have to be real, people. There are a lot of black / African American men in jail in America, in jail over here in the UK, and they are just not getting a break. And the prisons are getting more and more full, because I'm just finding that this sort of thing is going on around the world now. It's expected of black people, black men especially, to be in jail. And I'm noticing there's a lot of children who are suffering the loss of their parent and their loved one, because this person, whoever it may be, is not around. So then it's like a perpetuating cycle, isn't it?
And that's what, again, as we were looking at TV last night, they have this program on MSNBC, one of the cable stations here, and the show is called Locked Up. Okay, and they do, and it's been on for years, but they do different. It's like an hour-long show, and then they interview people that are in jail, incarcerated around the country, and they happen to be doing a Locked Up on the city I'm from in Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm like, Tulsa, Oklahoma is on Locked Up.
Wow.
And they did have, they have a mixture of people. They were doing some of the major cases, so it wasn't just a show that had the majority of the inmates were black. But it was funny that, you had set this subject up as a topic for the show. And for me, being a black man, it's one of those things that is near and dear to my heart.
This is it. I mean, there's too many. I am noticing. I mean, I don't know if you've heard this statistic. You probably have, because it probably comes from America first and foremost, that there's more black men, black and, mixed race men in jail than there are in college. That's crazy.
And I guess what I did not realize was that this is something that is global. I didn't realize it was the same type of statistics in the UK.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of black men over here going to jail. Every 5 minutes, someone else is in jail. And see, this is why I'm getting stressed about it, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because one thing I noticed is it seems to be like a revolving door. I have met people who go to jail, and they just keep going back to jail. And it's whether they're out for 6 months and then they're back in there, whether they're out for a year, they don't never seem to manage to go, God forbid, and not go back. It's like a revolving door. And I'm like, why do you keep going back? And it's like, they'll say, I mean, you could call it an excuse if you want to, but you'll say, okay, my childhood wasn't that great, and I don't really have anything that I really want to do. And you'll find that when you talk to them, they are intelligent, but sometimes they just don't know common sense, or they just don't have the drive to say, okay, I'm going to squash that, and I'm not going to do that no more. I'm going to make my life, change, so I don't have to keep going back to jail. It drives me nuts when I keep seeing black men just keep going back to jail, because that's like the stereotype. Oh, he's a black man, he's going to jail, and he's going to keep going to jail. Why is that?
Well, but some of that, as we go through the show today, we'll be talking about different facets of this. In the United States, especially right now, if you've seen some of the information and the reporting on the city of Ferguson, and then they were talking about that black people were disproportionately stopped by the police. If you read even about New York and how they've had the stop and frisk policies, it's something where we are tagged as black men to be followed in department stores or grocery stores. We're tagged to be pulled over in cars. And that's because of to me, the miseducation of the universe, the miseducation of the world.
You're minding your own business, and because you go into a shop and you buy an expensive item, you're going to get fooled. I've seen the stories about this, because that was, somebody went into Macy's or somewhere like that,
right,
and he bought something expensive, and they stopped him, like, checking him out. Oh, is that your credit card, or where'd you get the money for that? I'm like, what? He ain't doing nothing. He literally just bought something and walked out. It's not like he tried to steal it. He bought it and then he walked out, and then they stopped him as he went out to say, okay, well, we just noticed that you bought something really expensive. Where'd you get the money? I'm like, what's going on? If you saw him doing a crime, then fair enough. But he was minding his own business. And see, it's like people, oh my God, there's so many black men now who are starting to talk more about the things that they don't like to hear, the stereotypes that they have against them. Like, if he's walking down the street he's going to like, oh, well, I'm going to, if I see a white woman, for example, and it's late at night, I'm going to give her a wide berth so that she can see me, because I don't want her to feel uncomfortable, like she thinks I'm going to try and mug her or rape her or something, because she's literally, he is assuming that she's automatically going to turn around, see he's a black man, and think, oh, I'm in trouble.
And see, here we don't have, and maybe I'll have to talk to some of the younger people, I don't think we have that thought process as ingrained in our minds as it may be in some other countries. But I think that in my opinion, the people that are intelligent, they try not to put themselves in situations where they can be blamed or where they can be mistaken for doing something. And even when they, and I include myself in that, we can try to do that. But if someone has a burr in their bonnet, as you might say,
Be in the bonnet.
yeah, be in the bonnet. They still, if they want to do something malicious, they can. But we aren't. I'm not as conscious of those things. I am careful with where I am and where I'm going, but I can be.
No, but you said it. You said you're careful with where you are. See, this is the thing. Whether you know it or not, it's subconsciously you are careful. Now,
right.
I mean, you shouldn't have to be that careful. You should just be able to be carefree and just do what you want to do, go where you want to do, because you're not trying to do malicious stuff. But there's another story that we could touch on, but I'm going to have to save that for another show, because I saw it a couple of weeks ago and it made me so mad. There was this guy, he worked in the city and he broke up with his girlfriend, and she accused him of rape. And I just, wow.
And that's the part of it. Again, I think we should cover that on one of the shows also, but that's something where it comes down to the emotion, and it comes down to, why are you leaving me alone, or why don't you want me? Because it's the same thing with men who end up doing things and actually either harming or killing their people they were in relationships with.
Sometimes it becomes, because they say that black men are so, prejudiced against in society, that they end up sort of doing things and acting out, and then they have to go on to these criminal behaviours, or if it is mental illness that's triggering these behaviours, invariably they're going to end up in jail.
Well, and not to cut you off, but those are things that, as the quote, they frame that, and that's something that if they frame it that way, it's coming from that group that as I mentioned, that older group that doesn't need to be here. There's a reason why they frame it that way, because it again, they were brought up not understanding or interacting with black men or women for that matter. And so they have their own predetermined thought process when it comes to that.
Yeah, but see, it's gonna, you keep saying that these particular undesirables are in our society, we're trying to get rid of them. But that's gonna take a while, isn't it? Because there's a couple of generations of them still coming through. Because remember, there's this racist behaviours that we're still seeing, whether it's an undercurrent or not. It's still there. No one can tell me that racism is done, because it is not. I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
It's not. Sorry. And I just wanted to mention, because the subject, guys, you're listening to Ask Avani Show. Today's topic is prison visit versus newcomers tech. Now, you guys know that in the music world, rappers seem to have a penchant for going to jail on a regular. So I just have to say this, right? When I was doing my little research for this show, as you know, I like to do research and have little links and stuff to things I like to find. Now, there was some rappers that went to jail at the height of their popularity. So basically, when they were doing their, getting their careers together, their rap careers together, these rappers, right? Obviously, you're going to know some of them, like, Lil Wayne and Tupac Shakur and people like that. But I suddenly realised that, okay, this is just some of them, but there's a whole heap more that you suddenly think, okay, well, what's happened? Look at T.I. T.I. went to jail, and they ain't just going for 2 weeks, they are trying to put these guys away for years at a time. And if they're lucky, they may come out after a while. But, I was just like, wow, guys, But the point I want to make is that even though you go to jail, all right, you don't want to go to jail in the first place, okay? But if you do go to jail, a lot of these ones, when they go to jail,